Good morning, all of you. Welcome to this 2 months training on data analytics with the career guidance. Today, we are in day 6 and we'll be learning about functions. Okay. So, in the previous session, we learned about the reference, that is relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference. So, today, we'll be learning about the functions. So we'll learn about basic functions, text functions, number functions, and date functions. The next session, we'll work on conditional functions, lookup functions, and then we'll also see about the errors in formulas. Also, we'll see about the auditing of the formulas. That is, we'll see in the next session. All right. So let's go with the functions. I have an Excel file with a very neatly formatted, and all the functions are available here, which will help you in understanding how to work on these functions and how to use these functions and when to use these functions. All right, so first let's understand what is a function. A function is a set of instruction or a code which is already written, and we use that for doing some calculations. Now, if you go to this formula tab in Excel, we have a formula tab, and you can see that there is something called as function library. So all the functions what we use, okay, that will be available here. You can see that there are so many functions here, categories. Now, suppose if you want to work on text function, you can just click on this text category like this. You can see there are so many functions like this. So many functions. Date and time. If you click on this, you have so many date and time functions. Lookup functions, mathematical functions. Suppose if you want to work on financial functions, see, all these are categorized. It will be easy for us to go here and then we can use these functions or learn these functions and then we can implement somewhere. So this function library means it is collection of books. Similarly, we have this function library in Excel where all the functions are kept in this particular group. Click on this more functions, you have more functions as well here. Like this. Now, let's try to understand the commonly used functions. So there are, more than 300 functions, 300 plus, I think still more than that, which we may not work on all the functions, but they are available. But in analytical industry, or say analytics and reporting industry, what are formulas will be used, that will be covering here. Apart from that, I have an Excel file wherein I have all the functions, whatever you have here, all the functions with explanation. I have one file, but that I'll give you as an award. Okay, people who actually take some quiz, I'm trying to prepare one quiz or some question and answers, this thing. So that I'll be giving you, whoever answers correct, then I'll be giving you that gift. I'll show you the end of the session about the formulas. Okay, let me see if I have here. I'll show you. Otherwise, I'll show you. It's not bad. So I'll show you the file also in the end of the section so that you can get that list of functions as well. Right. So let's start with some basic functions. And I'll tell you where this can be actually utilized as well. Suppose I have one table like this, wherein I have some items and I have the sales of those items. It can be any data with the numbers. I want to get the total sales of 2015, 16, 17, and 18. So if you want to get this, I'll go here. I can use something like this equals this value plus this value plus this value plus. I'm just using this plus mark or say this plus operator for adding all the values in the cell. Now my question is, please answer in the chat box. Whatever I'm doing here, is this right? No. Pratik says no. Gangadhar says no. No, no. Everyone, they are telling that it is not the right way. Yes, you people are right. I'll tell you why this is not the right way. So no one is agreeing to, do the calculation like this. If it was one or two numbers or one or two cells, we can actually use this plus. Okay, so Pratik is telling that it's taking a lot of time. Yes, it is right. it is taking a lot of time. Also, we might miss some values. So what happens? Suppose if I miss some values, then again, the total, what we're getting is wrong. So what should I do? For these kind of functions, or say these kind of calculations, we actually use, there are many functions, we use those functions. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll say equals. Whenever I'm starting a formula. Now, what is a formula? Formula is nothing but it is an equation or an expression which we use for getting some results by calculation. Okay. Don't get confused with function and formula. Function means there are a set of instructions which are already there, which are available, which we use for calculation. Formula is an expression or an equation which we use for getting the results by calculation. Okay. Now, sum is not a formula. Keep in mind, the sum is not a formula. Sum is used for, some function is used for getting the total. That means you're using it in the formula. Okay. So don't get confused. So sum, average, minimum, all these are functions which we use to do the calculation. The expression what we create, that is called as formula. Now I'll use this sum. Say, whenever you're using this formula also, just type few characters. You can see that I'm getting one small pop-up. This we call it as IntelliSense. IntelliSense means intelligent sensor. Say sum. You can see that I got this. Now don't press enter. I've seen many people saying, they'll press enter. Don't do that. This will leads to some errors here. I'll say equals. I'll type sum. Use tab. Okay. I'll use tab. You can see that I got this sum function with the bracket. Some people, what they do, they'll say equals sum and open bracket. This is also fine. Now I will just select the entire range where I need to add the values. You can see that it says E6 to E22. I'll close the bracket, say enter. See, I got the total. Now, for this 2016, I'll again say equals sum, and I'm selecting this range. But I'm not happy with this kind of work. So what I'll do, let me do it from beginning. So equals sum of this range. Okay. Now, one more question to all of you. E6 to E22 is what kind of reference? Quickly, I need the answer from all of you. E6 to E22, there is a reference. But what kind of reference is this? Okay. Okay. Bharat says relative, Gangadhar say relative. Others, I want all of you to quickly say Satya, Gopi, Prasanna, Mohan, Kushal. So everyone are saying relative. Very good. I'm very happy that you people have understood my session very clearly. This really makes me very happy, people. Thank you so much for giving the right answer. All of you. None of them have given wrong answer. Very good. Okay. So now I use this E6 to E22 and I'll say enter. I'm getting the total here. Okay. All right. Since I know that this is a relative reference, I can drag it like this. That means I'm getting this E6 to E22 will become F6 to F22, then G6 to G22. Automatically, it will change because of the reference, that is relative reference. So whenever you think that I want to get total, okay, I'm getting this total, so I can use sum. Right. The sum is not only for the column, that is the range what I've selected like this. I can select this way or the entire range as well. I'll go here, I'll say equals sum. And I need the total for each subcategories. I can use like this as well. Now this E6 to H6 is also a relative reference. I can copy this down like this. So likewise, we can have the total either for subcategories, that is which is in the row wise, or for the year, which is in the column wise. So you can plan accordingly. Whatever data you have, please understand the data and then you can use these functions. So sum is actually used for getting the results, that is getting the total of the range what I have selected. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. I'll show you one more thing. Suppose if you want to quickly add something, there is something called as auto sum. So what is auto sum? I'll tell you. Use alt. Okay, there is a key alt equals. When I say alt equals, you can see that I'm getting this sum function. Let me just say enter. You can see I'm getting the total. But this alt equals, okay, that is, let me just mention here, alt plus equals. Okay. This is a shortcut key actually for auto sum. Now, when I use this alt equals, you should be very careful. Say equals, sorry, alt equals. See, I'm getting the total, but this will not work sometimes. Suppose if you have a blank value here, see, if I say alt equals, it will stop here only. So you should be very careful about it. All right, this is one thing. Second thing is, suppose if you have a text, see, alt equals, it will stop. Now, you might be thinking, how did we actually get the total exactly for all these subcategories? It got stopped at this stage in this cell because the heading is the text. Suppose if this was the number, okay, like 2015, and if I say alt equals, see, it will consider that as well. So you should be very careful when you're using this auto sum, but auto sum is very useful quickly if you want to get the total. Right, all of you? Okay. So let me just change this to y quickly. Go here, alt equals. Done. Okay. I'll say control RC. If you want to do all this quickly, I just take this sum, select this, control R. Try to use all these shortcut keys, control R. Now let me go here. I'll say alt equals. This will work towards my left-hand side as well. Go here, the control D, copy down. Done. So this is how we can start writing our formulas. Say equals. Once I mention equals, that means we are starting a formula in a cell. Right. Now we need average. So what is average? Average is nothing but the total divided by the counter. Equals. I'll say ABE. See, when I type few characters, you can see that I'm getting that average. You can use tab like this. You don't have to type the entire thing. Select that. See, when I'm actually typing, I got this average. I'll use tab. I'll get that open bracket. Then select the range where you need to get the average. That is, I selected the range. Say enter. See, I'll get the average. Now, I'm selecting the cells where I need to apply this formula. Control R. Same thing we can do here also. Equals average. See, tab. Use tab. Then I'll select this. Say enter. See, this is the average for these subcategories. So likewise, we can write, there are so many functions here. This file, I'll be giving it to you. You can practice this later, okay? But all the functions are mentioned here, which will be easy for you to work on. Next, minimum. So what is minimum? I want to get minimum value of the range what I've selected equals min of, see, I'll select the entire range, say enter. This is the minimum value in 2015, 16, 17, and 18. I'll go here, I'll say control R. Let me just take only for this, say control R. The minimum value, okay, the lowest value. Maximum equals max of. Let me select this and say enter. See, control R. You can see that. Now this maximum value in the range what I have selected. All right. Now, suppose I have a range here. In this range, I want to get third highest, fifth highest, or say 10th highest value, or say third lowest, or say fifth lowest. If you want to do something like that, then we have this small and large. Most of them actually don't know, or say they don't use this. If you want to get the third smallest value, or say any of these kind of things, then I can use this small. Say equals, I'll say small. What the small will do, see the parameter. This is called as parameter, array and k. Say array is nothing but the range. I selected the range, comma. I want to specify the nth position, or say k. K is nothing but position actually. So I'll go here, I'll say I want third lowest value. I'll give 3 and say enter. See, 6058 is the third lowest value. If I mention as 1, if I mention here as 1, then this is nothing but the minimum value, like what we have. Okay. So whenever you think that I need to get the nth lowest value, the k position lowest value, I can use small. I'll say 5. You can see that this is fifth lowest value in the range what I've selected. Large. Large is Suppose if you want to get the third highest value, second highest value, 10th highest value, I want to give some position, then I'll be using this large, comma, I'll say 5. See, the fifth largest value, you can specify whatever position you need. Next, these three functions, okay? Keep in mind, count, count A, count blank. Please do not call it as count. Some people actually have seen calling it as count A, count A. Don't do that. That's actually, it sounds very bad actually. It is count A, okay? You can call it as count A, that is left to you, but call it as count A. I'll tell you what it is. Count means it will count only numbers. Equals count, okay? When I select the range, see, I'm selecting this range, say enter, it is giving me 17. Keep this in mind, it is giving me 17. Now let me delete one of the values. Let's say I'll delete this. See, it is giving me 16. That means count will not count blanks. Okay. Let me type a text. It is not counting. So count will not count blanks. It will not count text. So count will count only numbers, the range which is in numbers. Now let this text be as is. I'll go here. Now I'll say count A. So keep in mind, count A. Count A means count alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means alphabets as well as numbers. Say equals count A. And I want, I'll select this range. I'll say enter. See, count A. I can see that I have this count A. It is 17. Now, will this count the blanks? Let's see. I'll delete this. See, it is not counting blank. So the difference between count and count A is count will give me, will actually count only numbers. Count A will count alphanumeric, that is alphabets and numbers. Count and count A both will not count blank cells. Okay. All right. Then what is count blank? Suppose if you want to count blank, see, I'm selecting like this. You can use the arrows and you can select like this. I'll say count blank. Now I'm selecting the entire range like this. And see how many blanks are there. There are one blank. Let me delete this. I have two blanks here like this. So if I go here, select this towards my right hand side like this, see, there are no blanks in this range, but here we have two blanks. That's why it's not counting. And if I have one text here, see, count will not count text. Count A will not count blanks, but will count both text and numbers. Count blank will count only blanks. Okay. So this is about the basic functions, right? Let's go to next one, text function. Now, what are text function? First, let's understand. The text is what? The alphabets, what we have. Now, what all we can do on a text? So we have some text. We can change the case. We can extract the data. We can replace some characters. So these kind of things actually we can do in text functions. Let's work on this. Say, let me hide a few columns for time being so that we can get some space here to see. I have some names here. I want to convert this into uppercase or lowercase or proper case. This to change the case. So what is case? Case is nothing but say I want to convert this into, uppercase, all these capital letters. Okay. People, I will answer all your questions in the end. Okay. If you have any questions, please make a note. I'll answer in the end. I cannot answer in the middle because I want this class to be continuous. So all the questions, please make a note. I will answer all the questions in the end. Okay. All right. Say upper, lower, and proper equals upper. Okay. I will select the text here, cell, and say enter. See, this is converted to text. Let me copy this down like this. You can see that all the text, whatever is there, that will get converted to uppercase. Now, if you want to convert this into uppercase, say equals, sorry, lowercase. Say lower, and suppose if I select this, all the text, whatever is there in the cell, see, this will get converted to lowercase. Proper case. Now, what is proper case? Proper case means we also call it a sentence case where the first character of a word will become caps. See, equals proper. Let me refer this only. I have all small letters. Now, if you see this proper and say enter, you can see that C, the first character is caps. G, the first character is caps. Now, if I go here, copy this down, you can see that all the first character of a word will become caps. Now let me go here and okay, here I have this Hoffman. I'll just give a space here. You see what happens. See, M become caps. You can see that here M is still a small letter, but you can see that here it is all caps. Here it is all small letters, and here you can see the first character of every word. It is caps. So this is about changing the case. Now let me hide this. Left, mid, right. This is used to extract the data. When I say extract, say for example, I'll go here, say equals left of. See, left. Left is a function which will get me the characters. That is from left side, I'll get some characters. Say here, I'll go select this, comma, 2. You can see that I want from this, okay, this order ID, I need first 2 characters. I'll say enter. And if I just copy this down, you can see I'll get first 2 characters in this particular order ID. Suppose I want to get last 6 characters, then I'll say equals right. And I'll select this, comma, 6. From right side, I need 6 characters. I will select and drag it like this. See, the last 6 characters I'm getting. Mid. Suppose I have one word, or say, in a cell, I have some characters. I need to get the value from middle, say somewhere in the middle. I use this left to get from the characters from left side. I use right to get the characters from right side. But if you want to get the characters from the middle, then I'll say equals mid. When I say mid, that means we have this, text. That is this, let me select this text, comma. It is asking for starting number. Starting number means from where I need to extract the data. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. From 4th position, comma. Then we have this number of characters. How many characters I need? From 4th position, how many characters I need? I need 4 characters. I will use this 4, close the bracket, say enter. You can see that from 4th position, 4 characters I'm getting. Right. So this is about extracting of the data, that is left, mid, and right. Let me hide this. I'm just hiding all this so that we'll get some space, for understanding other formulas. Let me unhide this column, that is product name. Okay. Hide. And I'll hide all this columns. Right. Let's say I have some product names here. I want to find some. Find and search, both are actually used to find a character or a word. If the character or a word is not found, then I'll get error, that is value error. I'll show you both. If the value is found, what will happen? If the value is not found, what will happen? Equals find. Assume that I want to find character S, a small letter S. This is small letter, comma, in this particular cell, say enter. It says 3, 1, 2, 3. You can see that bush, that S is there. So I'm getting this 3. Let's go to the search. Here I have this search. I will say find small s, comma, within this text, say enter. So both are giving me same results. But when I change this to capital S and say enter, it is giving me 6. But when I change the same thing here to capital S, see, it is giving me as 3 only. That means find and search are actually used to find a character or a word. Find is used to search a character or a word. If found, it will give me some results. If not, let's say I'm trying to find Z. See, it says value error. This also same thing, Z, because Z is not there. So keep in mind, if I'm searching for a character or a word, if it is found, it will give me the position of that particular word or a character. If not found, it will give me value error. Right. Let's try and see if we can find some word. I will say series. Let me copy this down. So wherever you find series, you can see that I have this number. Wherever you don't have the series, it will give me error. Let's see in this place. Okay, in this cell, it's not there, not there. Here we have the series, it says 40. Here we have the series, it says 17. Let me go here. I'll just add a small letter. Can you see that? The series is in small letter. It's still saying value error. Now let's go to this search. I will use this series, enter. You can see that it's giving me the value error. See, that means though it is actually trying to find the value. Let me check this. See, though it is like capital letters, but still it is searching this. So find and search both are actually used to find a character or a word. If you think I want to specifically search a character with case sensitivity, or say with the particular case, then go for find. If you're not bothered about the case, then go for search. Okay. All right. Next, let me again unhide. I'm just trying to hide, unhide so that we can get the right column to use in the formulas. Next, substitute. Substitute means we are trying to replace a character which we mention. In order ID, we have hyphens. I want to replace these hyphens with slash equals substitute. There are many parameters here. Let me tell you. First parameter says, see, whenever you want to master any formulas, make sure that you will actually go and read the parameters. That actually makes you easy to write any formulas. Text is the text. I selected this text, comma. It lasts for old text. Old text is what am I actually trying to replace? Double quote, hyphen, double quote, any parameters. If you are passing it as a hard-coded value, then use hyphen, say use double quotes. Okay. Here I've used double quotes because I need to replace hyphen, comma. New text, I need to replace that with slash. So I use this slash. You can see that. I use this slash and say enter. See, hyphen, I have this slash. Let me copy this down. See, wherever I have these hyphens, they are being replaced with the slash. Right. Now, let me double click on this formula. You can see that hyphen has been replaced with slash, but I want only the first hyphen to be slash, comma. There is a parameter here which says instance number. People understand whenever you find a parameter with the square bracket, you can see that there is a square bracket here for the parameter. They are called as optional. Okay, this is very important. If I have a square bracket in the parameter, that means they are optional. Optional means you can specify or you can ignore. Now, in this case, I had ignored, so all the hyphens were actually replaced with slash. Now, I'll mention it as one. See, only the first instance, you can see that the first instance here will become, will change to slash. The second hyphen is left as is, it not replaced. Let me go here. I'll say 2. You can see that the second hyphen has been replaced. So likewise, substitute is actually used to replace a specific character, what we mentioned, or a specific word. Done. Now let's go to this replace. Substitute and replace, they actually replace the characters. We saw that substitute is actually replacing hyphen with slash. But what is this replace? Replace is also something like substitute, but replace will replace the characters from position with number of characters. No matter whatever the characters are, no matter whatever the word is, see, equals replace. Okay. My requirement is, let's say this is the text, comma. It asks for starting position. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. From fourth position, that is, we have this 2017. Here, you can see that 2017, there are different characters actually, comma. Number of characters 4. Say from fourth position, 4 characters. I want to replace this with X, 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 like this. And say enter. See, now let me copy this down. You can see that all the characters, that is the middle 4 characters, that has been replaced. Right? So that is the difference between substitute and replace. Both will replace the characters, but Here, substitute will replace with a specific character or a word, replace with will be replacing from a position with number of characters. Right. Concatenate, concat, and text join. These three formulas are similar. We'll go one by one. Let me unhide, and then I'll hide all of them. Hide, and then we'll hide till here. Okay. Now concentrate. Concatenate, concat, text join. Concat and text join, they are new functions which have been added in 2016 and above and in 365. Concatenate, equals, I'll say concatenate. Okay. Concatenate is used to combine the text from various different cells. Let me select this E6, comma, E7, comma, E8. So if you are trying to combine various different cells, this is how actually we should give, say, comma. See, the three cells have been combined like this. Let me make it as right align like this. Let me increase the column width. Okay, see, this is how actually it will combine. But if you just see, I want to combine all these names, I'm actually selecting one by one. It is taking a lot of time. So what I'll do, instead of this, I'll go here. I have this concat equals concat. What concat will do, I don't have to go and select each and every cell individually. I can select like this. I can select the range. Now, if I close the bracket, you just see all the names have been combined here from all the cells. So if you want to combine by selecting the range, you can use this concat. Okay, right. Next, let me hide these two for time being. If you see this concatenate, it was actually taking each individual cells and then it was combined. Concat was taking the entire range, but if you see that concat, it is combining, but there is no delimiter. When I say delimiter, that means there is no separator. I'll go here to this text join. Suppose if you think I want to combine the cells with the delimiters, then I'll be using this text join equals text join. What this text join will do, it will act exactly like concat, but we have an option of specifying the delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but the separator, the character which separates the word. I'll give one comma, space, and I'll close with double quote. See, it's a delimiter. Comma. It'll ask for ignore empty cells as of now. I'll just select this true. I'll explain what it is. You'll not understand if I explain now. I just used true. Then it is saying to select the range. See, I selected the range. I'll say enter. See, I'm getting the list of names here which are combined, but with comma separators here. Now here I have this true. I told you I'll explain practically. Now here, let me just delete one name. Okay. You can see that. See, let me delete like this. When I delete this, you can see it is just a continuation with comma and the name, comma and the name, it goes on. Suppose you want this blank cell also to be considered, then I'll make it as false. If I make this false and say enter, see, you can see that there is blank. You know, there is, say, I have this one name, second name, and third name is blank. Here you can see that there is a blank. Let me zoom this. See, you can see there is a blank. But the same thing will not happen if I make it as true. If I make this true, enter. See, there is no blank here. Right, so this is about text join, concat, and concatenate. All right, let me hide this. Next, I have this repeat. Okay, repeat is a function which will repeat a character or a word we specify. Let's say equals repeat. I'll say repeat x 10 times. See, x is repeated 10 times. For that, let me bring back all the names because you need to practice. Otherwise, these names will not be there. Okay, so I just got this back, the names, because it will be useful for you to practice. Let me hide equals, repeat, say, I'll say x 10 times. See, it is repeating. I have an example here. Suppose if you think I want to repeat any word, okay, I just took that here. See, let me show you. Equals, repeat. If you want to repeat this Excel, I'm just selecting this cell. Okay, you can do that reference as well. And then I'll say 10. See, it is repeating 10 times. Equals, repeat. Let's select this text, comma, number of times. I'll say 10. Right. So similarly, suppose if you think you want to repeat any word or a character, you can use this repeat. Done. Next, trim. Trim is actually used, suppose if you have unwanted spaces. Let me just give some unwanted spaces here. Okay. Give some unwanted spaces. And if you want to remove all these spaces, equals trim, and I'll select this. And see, the unwanted spaces will be removed immediately. You don't have to go find, replace, nothing. You can do that. Clean. Okay. Understand this clean. Clean is actually a function which will remove non-printable characters. These non-printable characters cannot be replaced by using this, control H, find and replace. You cannot do that. So whenever we copy data from some website and paste it, we get some, characters which are non-printable. We call it as non-printable characters. So here I don't have those characters, but still, if you think that you want to clean the data, say clean and select this data. Here it won't remove the space. See, it is still giving me the space here. If you want to combine trim and clean both together, then I'll go here. I'll say trim, open bracket, then clean, and then I can use this. So this will remove the space as well as remove the unwanted, say the non-printable characters. Right. So let me unhide all the columns now. And then I'll just keep only this product count. Let's hide all the other columns. Let's come to this text function. So what is text function? Text function is a function which will change the format of a number. Equals text of this value, comma. I want this to be 8 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I typed 8 zeros and say enter. See, to copy this down, you can see that I'm getting this 8 numbers. You type anything, see, the total number of characters will be 8. This is to change the format. Let's say I have some number here, 45,000. I want to convert this 45,000 into a different format, that is date format. Say equals text, select the value, comma, say DD, MMM, YYY. See, this will convert to a different format, that is text format, say the date format. So you can specify whatever formats you need. Okay. All right. So this is about the text function. So here you can see there are so many text. I'll just unhide. I'll just leave it as is and I'll save this so that you can use this for practicing. Okay. Right. Next, number functions. What are number functions? We saw some of the number functions here also, some average or something. These are all some functions which are used for aggregating values or grouping the values. Say these are some aggregate functions where I can use the range or something. Okay. Let's come to this number function. Number functions are actually used to work on some numbers. Let me take this round. I have the price value here, and you can see that there are so many decimal numbers. I want to round this to certain decimal numbers. Say round. Let me select this number, comma, I'll say 2 decimals. See, the value will get rounded to 2 decimals here like this. Now, if you see, it says 0.961, 0.960. So here, let me type 89. Okay. This becomes 0.87. Right? So likewise, I can use this round to round of the numbers. This is for decimal number. Say round is actually used for decimal numbers. Now I have the ceiling and floor. Ceiling and floor, we are actually using this. Let's say equals ceiling. Ceiling is used to round the whole numbers. That is to the higher level, to the significance what I specify. I have this number, comma. I'll say 10th significance. The nearest 10th significance of this 40,523 is 40,530. Let me copy this down. So you can see that I'm getting all the values which are to the nearest 10th position. Floor equals floor of. Let me select this number, comma. I'll say significance 10. See, the nearest 10th significance, we get the values. So the nearest significance, whichever you want, say I want this to be like 100 significance. See, you give me 40,600. So here, if I say nearest 100 significance, so you can specify whichever significance you need. Abs, absolute. If I have a negative number and if you want to convert that into positive number, say equals abs of this value, enter. See, so wherever we go here, see, the negative numbers will be converted to positive numbers. So this is called as abs. So whenever you think that there are some calculation where you need to convert your, the negative value to positive numbers, then you can use this abs. Right. Next, I want to get the multiplication of some value. Like what we have this sum, which will add, say, equals sum of, I'll select the range here, say quantity. I'm getting this total sum. Suppose if you want to multiply, you go here, say equals product of these quantities. Say enter. See, I'm getting the multiplication. This is product means it will multiply. Say this multiplied by this is multiplying. Suppose if you want to multiply these two, okay, let's assume I want to calculate the total price, okay, quantity multiplied by price, what we get. Say I can use this product of these two. I'm getting the multiplication of these two values. Either I can say this multiplied by this, say I can use something like this, say equals this value multiplied by this value. See, I'm getting the same results here. You can see that I'm getting same result. Right. If you want to get the total, I'll say sum of this range. I'm getting 11,601. That is the total price. So what I did, first I multiplied these two values and I got all the multiplication here for each subcategories. And then I took the total. Instead of doing all this, there is a formula called a sum product. I'll say equals sum product. So what is sum product? Sum product. Say sum means total, product means multiplication. I'll select this first array, comma, second array, right? Close the bracket. See, I'm getting the same result here. 11,601, 11,601. How it works? It will multiply each value. Say these two values are multiplied. So you can see the array values also. The number of cells what I have here, number of cells what I have in the second array, both should be same. So this is called as sum product. Okay. So these are number functions. Date functions. Suppose I have a date, and if you want to work on these dates, then I can use this date functions. I have this order date, but I have a date here. I want to extract day, month, year. See, equals day. The formula is day. Month equals month. Select this. Equals year. That's all. See, I'm separating this day, month, year by using day, month, year function. And I'll copy this down. Just double click. See, I'll get the date here like this. I can extract the date within few seconds. Suppose if the date is given day, month, year in a separate column, so then I'll say equals date. Select the year. Read the parameters. See, it says year, month, day. See, suppose if I have a date, if I want to extract day, month, year, I can use this day, month, years formula. Suppose if I have the date in different columns like this, day, month, year, then I can use this date function. I can use this date function to get this date. All right, EO month, end of month. Suppose if you want to get the end of, the end of month's date, that is the selected dates end of month, say equals EO month. Select the date, comma, I'll say 0. 0 is for the month, whatever I've selected. See, it is giving me 28th Feb, that is 2nd Feb 2017 is actually the last date is 28th Feb 2017. Now, if I copy this down, this will give me the last date of the selected date. Suppose if you want the next month's last date, say 1. If I give 1, 0 is for the selected month. If I say 1, that means for the next month. You can see that it's for the next month. -1, this is for the previous month. See, I have this January, February, I'm getting this 31st January. So you can specify the index here. Suppose if you want to get the last year's date, say 12, -12, that is last year. So likewise, I can specify this EO month and you can specify the index number here. If I say 0, this will give me the last date of that particular month, that is end of month. Right. Next, what if I want to get first day of the month? I don't have first day formula. So what I will do, I'll say equals EO month. I will select this date, comma, I'll say -1. So this will give me the previous month's last date. And what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll add +1. So this will give me the immediate next day of the previous day, last month's date, +1 will give me the first day of the month. See? So if you want to get first day of the month, we can take the last day of the previous month and then say +1, that will give me first day of the month. What if I want to get number of days in a month? Again, there is no formula. So what I'll do, I have this EO month, say equals day of. We just learned about this day formula, day of this last date. So this will give me 28 days. That means it is actually giving me the date, but this is the EO month, which is the last date. So it will give me the last. Weekday and week num. Weekday means I have 7 days in a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 is Sunday, 7 is Saturday. So the serial number continues. So I'll say weekday off. Let me select this date, enter. See, it is giving me as 4 or 5 or 1 or 2 or something. When I say 4, it is like 1 is Sunday, 2 is Monday, 3 is Tuesday, and 4 is Wednesday. That means this is Wednesday. So 1, this is Sunday. 7, this is Saturday. 2 is Monday. So like that, it goes on. Week num. Suppose if you want to get the week number, week num, the entire year. If you want to get the week num, I'll go here, select this value and say enter. This is saying 1st February is in 5th week. 1st November is in 44th week. 1st October is in 40th week, like this. Then I have this today equals today, open bracket, close bracket, no parameters, say enter. That will give me today's date. Today's date is 31st May 2023. Now this will give me the current time, say 7:55. So likewise, I can actually get the current time and the current date. But we also have a shortcut key, Control: for current date. Control: for current date. If you want, you can make a note of it. Control-Shift: for current time. The difference between the value what I'm getting here with the formula and with the shortcut key is this is hard-coded. So even if you open tomorrow or after some time, this will not change, but this will be keep changing. See, it is 7:55. Now, if I go here and refresh, see, it is changing the number of seconds. I can see that, but here this will not change. So this is hard-coded. All right. So this is about the basic functions, text functions, number functions, and date functions. There are so many functions what we have discussed. I want all of you go back. I'll be adding this file in the app what you guys do is go back, practice all this. I know there are so many formulas what we have discussed, and it was like continuously I was actually doing, because the entire session will be recorded properly, and this recordings will be given to you. Go back, check the video, understand that completely. One by one, you sit and keep working on this. If you have any doubts, you can message me. I will explain in the next session also. Tomorrow's session will be working on conditional functions, then lookup functions, and then errors in the formulas and auditing the formulas. Okay. All right. So I'll stop here the session, and then now we'll take the questions. Okay. So let me just enable the question. 1 minute. Right. So I want one by one to ask the question. Difference between concat and concatenation. Gopi, concat will combine the text. Okay, here it will combine the text when I select the range. But concatenate, we cannot actually select the range. We have to go cell by cell. That is the difference.
Sir, I have a question.
Please tell your name also, so that you know.
Sir, I'm Nandini, sir.
Yeah, Nandini.
Sir, in the concat, I can see that option like concat.
Huh?
Sometimes we'll get the data like concat, sir. We are not doing any formulas, but we'll get the data like
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
So, is there any formulas to delimit those data?
So what you're telling is, like, let's say you're telling that I'm getting the data something like this, but I need to separate the data, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. See, there is a chapter actually that is the text 2 columns. In that I'll explain, but to tell you quickly how actually you can do. Sometimes what happens, there should be a logic. Okay, there will be some logic where we can actually separate the data. Either we'll have some comma separators or some delimiters. There will be something. If you have such kind of thing, just send the screenshot. I will just study that and I can explain you with specific with your data. But otherwise, there is a chapter on this, what you mentioned, right? There's a specific
Text to
chapter on
column,
how to separate the data. That is text to columns. In that, I'll explain.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, there is one more question from Vishwachetan. Sir, for left, mid, right, you have taken fixed number of characters, but what if names with different length? Vishwa, don't worry. There is a chapter called as Power Query Editor. In that, I'll explain how actually you can do that. It's very simple, actually. We can do that as well. But in the formulas, you have to mix the formulas and do. But now we don't have to take so much of efforts. There are simple things. When you come to this Power Query Editor, I'll surely explain what actually you are asking. Is that fine, Vishwa? But that topic is there. For sure, I'll explain.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. How can we change the positive number to negative number, as we have apps for converting to negative number to positive number? Think positive. That's all what Excel says. Okay, there is nothing, no formulas we have for changing negative number to, positive number to negative number. If at all you really want, then I can give you one tip what you can actually do. So what I'll do, I'll say equals this value multiplied by -1. This is one thing what I can say. There is no formula actually like apps, but you can do this. Wherever you have this positive number, that will get converted to negative value. Mohan, did I answer you? Mohan?
Yes.
Yeah. So people, you ask the question and answer, please at least a message, or you can tell, so that I'll understand that I've given you the right answer. Okay.
Hello.
Sir, 1 minute, one by one.
Hello, sir.
Santosh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Santosh, tell me.
Sir, it is needless to say, sir, in today's session.
No, I want the questions. I'll take the feedback later. Let's not mix everything. People, please switch off your cameras as well. Please ask the questions. Okay, I'll take the feedback later.
Yes.
Let's not.
I want to learn how to prepare this interactive dashboards. So, is it covered in this course, sir?
It is there, Santosh. Still, you should have patience. Okay.
Okay.
Still, we have a lot of time. I'll come. Okay. See, I have promised you that I'll be teaching you that this is the data analytics. Okay, for sure.
Okay.
All this. Don't worry. But have some.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you why. There are many people who actually doesn't know Excel also. They are just learning. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I will be teaching you complete analytics. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that. We'll do that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Any other questions, people?
Hi, sir. This is Prasanna Venkatesh, sir.
Prasanna. And
Sir,
thank
is
you
that
so much for your feedback. You have given very good feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is it possible for us to use the function in the same cell? So we have a number of months in a row, sir. We have to
Mhm.
change it into uppercase. Is that possible for us to do in the same rows?
No, I didn't understand. What is the number of months? What?
Sir, in a row, we have a number of months, sir.
Okay.
In a smaller case, we need to change it into uppercase. Is that possible for us to do the same?
Just say equals upper. That's all. No,
Okay, sir.
that's all. Equals upper. Like what we have this text functions here. Just use this upper. That's all. Upper of that particular name. You can do that.
So in the same cell, sir, we are copying. We are using relative function, right, sir.
You just
I'm
drag
asking.
it down. That's all. Or you send me the screenshot. Let me study because data differs from one data set to another data set. So when I see that data, then only I'll understand.
Okay, sir. So for example, in this data, uppercase is mentioned as Clary gut, right, sir?
Yeah.
We have to change it into a smaller case. Is that possible, sir? In the
That's
same.
what I'm saying. See, that's what we have done here. Just say equals lower of this. That's all. It'll get converted.
So in the same cell, so 6H.
You want in the same cell. No,
yes, sir.
That you cannot do. Or what you can do is, see, I can copy this, then I can replace. That is, I'll use this paste special. You know, we did this class paste special. I can use like this.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
We
That's
cannot
what I
write
want to
formula in the same cell. We cannot do that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Any other questions, people? Right. So I'll just mute all of you.
Hello.
Yeah, Satya, you have a question? Quickly.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
I have a question, sir. Sir, today you're explaining the formulas of basic function and text function, numbers function and date function. Some of the function is still not updated in Excel, but you are explaining about Office 365. If any updated version is there in Excel at present, sir.
See, I am actually trying to teach you whatever is there in the current, say versions. Okay. Because what happens? Let's say if I'm teaching 2007 and 10 formulas, okay, and if you are left out with all the new formulas, what happens? I'm not sure how many of you have the updated version. Okay, so say one person is having the updated version, some people are having the old version. So that doesn't mean that I'll be teaching you the old version. So I want everyone to know what's there in the new version, right? How to upgrade that you have to plan. That depends on your budget. That depends on your plannings. I cannot say go purchase the latest version because I don't know your budget plans or say how much of amount you can actually spend. But what I'm actually doing, I'm teaching you the latest things, whatever is possible. Okay, I'm not telling everything. I'm teaching you the latest one, whatever is possible, whatever I can teach you within this time limits. I'm just trying to give you. I'm just trying to give you more and more knowledge as well, because it's not that I'm just using the same templates. I'm trying to update. See, these templates, there were some formulas missing, so immediately I had to take those formulas. So like that depends. Now suppose next month there is one new formula getting added, so I have to teach you people that, right? So I want everyone to be upgraded, updated. Okay, so that is my intention. But for practicing, I don't know how actually I can tell you. If you can afford the latest version, please go ahead. Otherwise, see how actually you can manage it. Okay, Satya?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
All right. So I'll mute all of you for a few minutes. Now, I want all of you take 1 minute, just take 1 minute and tell me how was today's session. I want all of you to tell me how was this session. Take 1 minute enough. I've taken almost 60 minutes, so I want you people to take 1 minute. Okay. People keep give the feedback. Meanwhile, I'll show you one file actually, which I'll be giving it to you as an award. But that is for this thing. What is that? After asking the quiz. Let me just take that and I'll show you. I think some of you have already got. Okay, people who attended the weekend with experts, some of you have got see these functions. Okay, so all these functions are there. So this I'll be keeping it as an award. But don't worry, people have already got. I'll give you a few other things as well. There are some textbooks which I have. There are so many other notes what I have. So let's keep some award session as well. Okay, I'll be giving you the badge as well. I'll show you. I'm actually planning. There's so many things which I'm actually planning. Because of the time constraint, I'm not able to do that. Let's have some very interesting things as well, like getting you the badge, getting you some textbooks, getting you some useful things. Okay, so all these things. But you too have to encourage us with so many other things, like giving us some feedbacks or something. So that will actually help us in understanding ourselves and correcting our mistakes. So even the suggestions are also very important. Okay. All right, people. So thank you so much for today's session. Tomorrow's session will be on conditional formatting. Tomorrow will be on conditional formatting. Then I will talk about some errors in the formulas. A lot of things we can actually discuss. Okay. So still there are a lot of things to learn. And people, I'll be teaching you about, one of our friends were asking like, about the dashboards. Okay, so that also will be covered in this, because this is analytics. It's not just I'll be teaching only Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So we'll be learning a lot of other things as well. That is how to create dashboards, how actually you can handle, and about the career guidance also is there. And also I'll be talking about how actually you should handle the clients, how you should actually understand the requirement. So all these things will be there. My intention is you should be a complete data analyst, but about the job, getting you the job, I cannot promise you. Please, don't expect that. But in the career guidance, I'll try to guide you how actually you can get the job. That I can actually do. Okay. Right, people, all of you, thank you so much for attending today's session. So see you all in tomorrow's session. Okay. Take care. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you.